Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again on a Tuesday night. This is your boy Stevie Ray, and we call this Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. I am your host, Stevie Ray, and every Tuesday night is what we call Tokyo Heat, featuring Mr. Sonny Ono. But Sonny is in Mexico. His son is getting married. So Sonny hopped on a boat and went down to Mexico. Hopefully we'll have him back next week. And he can give us all the intel on what went down at his son's wedding. Because knowing Sonny, he probably got into some kind of trouble. Probably got into some kind of trouble. So if he did, we want to hear about it, man. Yeah, we want to hear about it. What's up, Kron? What's up, Queen? So with all that being said, let's hope that Sonny Ono don't foil the wedding. Let's hope he doesn't foil the wedding and let his son have his day. Holy matrimony. Yes. Hey, man, I see my boy, Rudy boy out there, man. Let's see if we can bring him in. I'm having some technical difficulties with my deal here. But we'll try to get him in, though. We'll try to get him in and see what's going on with him. Okay. But I got to tell you guys, man, we had a very good show last night. And hopefully we'll have another good one tonight, you know. Queen say, Sonny better not mess up. Queen, you got to realize who you're talking about, man. You got to realize who you're talking about. Sonny probably get down there, get drunk. You know, he probably get down there and get drunk. And Lord knows what else is going to happen. I don't even think his son wanted him at the wedding. I'm serious. I don't even think his son wanted him there. I think he's just tolerating him. You know? I think he's just tolerating him at the end of the day. But, you know, that's what a son has to do. That's what he has to do. You got to put up with Sonny's bullshit, you know, and act like he want him now. But in reality, you know, I think Sonny might be paying for the wedding. I'm not 100% sure. So maybe that's why his son is tolerating him the way he is, you know. It's the only thing I can come up with. What's up, Real Cool? But yeah, guys. Like I was talking about last night, you know, we got a new podcast coming. We're going to call it 3 the Hard Way. And we're going to be really and truly into what's really going on in professional wrestling and getting our point of views in from 3 different outlets, 3 different people. And at the end of that, we'll let you guys chime in, try to bring some of you in on camera, the whole thing, so you can ask questions. And I want to try to make it a group therapy type thing. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing I do ask is people think about the questions that you ask before you ask them. Try to have a little decorum, things of that nature. You know, last night I was able to invite some people on the show. But tonight, you know, My deal isn't. Wait a minute. There go Tim from Sacramento. What's going on, Tim? How's all your therapy doing, brother? I'm good, man. You know, and I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the sentiments, man. Yeah, man, it's going to be on like a steaming pot of neck bones, man. And we want to talk about wrestling differently than anybody else is doing. That's what we want to do. At least that's what I want to do. Because you guys know I really don't. The wrestling business has changed so much that it's really hard to put things in context, if you will. But that's why I want to do this show. So even though the wrestling business has changed a lot, I still want to get you guys' perspective on today's product, you know, on today's product and what you think is up, what you think is down, what you think is working, what you think is not working. You know, we can see all the goings on that's happening right now in WWE, you know, with the fallout, with the Vince McMahon situation. Now, I've talked about that. We talked about that on this show. We talked about it in more depth with me and Vince Russo on the Black and White podcast. But we talked about it here. But at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, that's enough, man. That's enough, because everything else right now is just speculation and conjecture. And I'm not a person that everybody likes a little gossip every now and then, but I think it's enough gossip podcasts going around out there. I don't want to be one of them. If it's something concrete that's coming down the pike, then we'll talk about it. If it's something that's just what people are just talking about shit they done heard here and heard there, I'm not that guy. I don't do that with professional wrestling. I don't do it with personal things. I just don't do that. I know a lot of people need that, but I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys. That's why I remember years ago, I did when they first started doing what they call shoot interviews. And the fans really got a kick out of that. Now, you know, you got some of the guys out there that really need the money and things of that nature. So they do shoot interviews and talk about this happened to me, that happened to me, and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Yeah, this happened, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that bullshit, bro. I don't do it. Anybody that calls me for a shoot interview, I ain't doing it. They already know. You know? Because how many times can I talk about the same bullshit? And they ask you the same questions. In 1996, you guys had a match with blah, blah, blah. How did that go? I mean, come on, brother. That shit is so juvenile. Okay? It's so juvenile, and the questions are being asked by juvenile type mentalities. I really don't have time for that bullshit. You know, I'm not trying to say I'm all of that, this, that, and the other, but my mind is so far away from gossipy bullshit that just not me. So if I want to talk about something, I'll talk about it on my own show. What about that? I'd rather give it to my fans, my loyal fans, and people that really follow me than giving it to some sap for $50, $100. I just rather do that. Because what the fuck is $50? $50 don't even buy a good meal if you take someone out. After a few drinks, the main courses come. We haven't even gotten to the appetizers. You already out of $100. You know, once I think about it, man, maybe I can use that $100 to, you know, something. I might have to rethink that. I might have to rethink it now. You know, I forgot about the money I've been spending on going out and having a good time, man. You know, wait a minute, man. I might have to rethink that, to be honest. That's something I need to think about. But be that as it may, That is my focus right now. My focus right now is what I'm doing. In the words of James Brown, fellas, I think it's time for me to get up and do my thing. So that's what I'm thinking about. My thing. You know, who was that saying? Them appetizers be expensive. Man, you better, man. I just thought about that, bro. How much is appetizers? Oh, that's $22. $18.99. God damn, I ain't even got nothing to eat yet. I just thought about that. But hey, I might have to rethink that, bro. Might have to rethink it. You know, that's all they pay for shoots is $50. I really don't know. This was years ago. That's what I charge now. You know, $75 for 1 hour. If you want to talk to me for 45 to 60 minutes, that's what I charge now. Yeah. But just sitting right here doing what we're doing right now. Yeah, because time is money. And I'm just saying, I don't have time to just sit and talk about bullshit for somebody else to profit off of. No disrespect to nobody, but there's plenty of guys out there that do that. I'm just saying, I don't fucking want to do it. To each his own. Because all of these podcasts actually the same thing over and over. And I'm not a repetitious type guy. I don't want to talk about the same shit over and over. You dig? I don't want to talk about the same shit over and over. That's just like driving the same car every day. That's why I got multiple cars and a motorcycle. My mood determines how I feel that I'm going to get down today. Can you dig it? My mood. If I want to get in my Beamer, jump in it. Get on my bike, jump on it. Get in the Corvette, jump on it. That's me. Get in my pickup, custom made from head to toe. Not another one like it in the city of Houston. Get in it. Go. What you talking about, man? That's what I'm talking about. Variety. Mr. Cass says a lot charge $2,000 an interview. I really could care less. Dig it? I really could care less. Because if somebody dumb enough to pay that kind of money, hey, that's them. I don't want to rip nobody off. But it's a lot of dumbass people out there, especially in this game. It's a lot of dumbass people. Whereas you can go pull up so many people's interviews on YouTube that's saying the exact same thing that same person said on someone else's podcast as he's saying on yours. Do you know that? Do you know that? Yes. Nicholas, what's up? They're wanting these interviews bad. But like I say, they're regurgitating the same shit. Let me ask you something, Cass. What have you heard? If you see one person doing shoot interviews, then you see him doing somebody else's shoot interview, what did he talk about that he didn't talk about on the other ones? So what are you getting? New regurgitation of the old shit he'd been talking about for years. Who got time for that shit, man? You know, who really got time for that shit? I really don't know. And frankly, I don't care. Because there's always some sap calling you about, I've been looking at some of my old stuff that people done took and got it from here and now it's over here. But those guys get those interviews, and what they do is sell the content to other podcasts and stuff out there. That's what they do. Sometimes the interviews are different, but it all depends. So that goes to show me that you really spend a lot of time listening to them. You see what I'm saying? That means you really spend a lot of time listening to them. Person only got one life. One life. How much shit can really go on in one life or one career? You know? Seriously. You know? That's what I'm talking about. Lorenzo says, I got a question. Who was the best tag team you? Man, I got the same question last night, man. I don't look at stuff like that. I got the same question last night. I don't rate people like women rating niggas that they date. I don't do that. It ain't about them. It's about what was about us. What we getting ready to go out here and do. So we didn't care who was on the other side of the ring. I could care less about that. Like I told the guy last night, I can't tell you who the best, but I can tell you who was the worst. I can tell you that. You know, that we never could get the chemistry right or something like that, but we tried, you know. But who's the best? Man, I don't do that shit. No disrespect to your question and stuff like that. But like I said, somebody asked me that same question last night that I had brought up on video. I don't look at stuff like that. It's time to go to work, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you get to the big time, it's time to go to work. You ain't got time to think about all the hypotheticals. Put your boots on, put your trunks on, get your ass in the ring, go to work. Earn your money, shake hands, take a shower, get in the car, go to the next time, do it all over again. What about that? You know? But I'm going to tell you, some of the best matches we ever had was not done in WCW. Some of the best matches we had was in Global. Well, we brought the house down. I'm talking about brought it down. I do reactions to some of the clips because the old school wrestling fans are like, oh, me, they gotta love the classic. Well, clips is one thing. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to hear the same clip. I'm talking about listening to someone do a shoot interview. Anybody can listen to a 5-minute clip. That ain't shit. With all due respect, that ain't nothing. You don't learn nothing from that. That is to draw you in to come see the whole interview. That might be an hour and a half or something like that. So no, you're not going to see the same clips, but I wasn't talking about clips. We were talking about shoot interviews. Let's not get it twisted. A clip is a clip. A whole interview is a whole interview. And I will reiterate again. If you go and watch someone's shoot interview and watch the whole interview for however long it may be, from one guy to the next guy, you're going to hear the same shit. Because the guys asking questions already got some of their own questions about certain things that they know that happened in that person's wrestling career. And they want him to reiterate it. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't understand exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about shoot interviews. But that's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about no clips. Anybody can pull clips up on YouTube. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Same thing they do with porn videos. You know, you can see the whole thing if you go to so-and-so and become a member. Yeah. Stevie, your Arn Anderson and John Tenta story was great because we haven't heard that one before. And you told it in a manner went gold. You know why I hadn't told it? Because it was my story. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I talk about when I used to do interviews and stuff like that with people that I will never talk about unless it's on my own platform. Because I don't give shit away for free. A lot of the stories that you've heard as I'm doing this podcast, I've never told them anywhere else. I only told them on my platform. You know, because some of them are gold. Like some of the stuff me and Sonny have talked about on this show. I don't know what he's done on other shows, but some of those things you're gonna only be able to hear on my platform. I just don't sit out there and talk about this, that, and the other for the hell of it. You know, it's certain things. It's a lot of things I don't even remember, and by the fact that Sonny and I spent a lot of time together back in the day, he would jog things in my mind. And then we'll go, hey, remember this? And let me tell you this, blah, blah, blah. But that's because he's in the business. So a lot of things he talks about, I can't think of right off the top of my head. But if he mentions it, then boom, it comes back. And that's that kind of stuff is gold because it's spontaneous. And we die laughing about it. There's so much stuff we laugh about that is not funny. Who is that out there? Okay, somebody had chimed in, but then they left. Trying to but you know, those are some of the things that you know, that happen spontaneously on the show. Because I can't think of everything I've done in my life, man. I can't. Asking Tony Atlas about Brody. I've heard about that about 5 or 6 times. Oh man, everybody want a piece of that. And then Cass, how many times have you heard other people refute what Tony Atlas said? How many times have you seen that? So I don't know what to believe. Have you noticed that, Cass? You know, I'm like, my God, man. I mean, I don't know what to believe and what not to believe. I remember the first time I heard that story about Brody from Tony Atlas. And then I hear other people that were supposedly there tell their story. And I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? Not that I don't believe somebody, this, that, and the other, but some people are great storytellers, man. I don't know. I often said I know a lot of stuff in shoot interviews is fabricated. That's why I like getting different people. Man, you moved on me. Yeah. Man, my deal has been messing up. I don't know what's going on with it. Kush, he's just talking about shooting interview podcast that talks about the same thing. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I mean, I've seen so many guys, you know, like he said, especially the clips. Then you see another clip of them saying this, and you see another clip of them saying that. Cass talking about Tony Atlas, Brody, yeah. Yeah, it's a half-breed. What's up? Like getting different people's perspective. Shooting interviews are entertaining for me. Yeah, they are. But take it for what it's worth. Yeah, because they become, a lot of people don't want to get monotonous and saying the same thing over and over. So they change things little by little because they know. They know. They've told that story before. They know. How tough was Ming? Did you ever see him? Daniel McIntosh. I told that story, man. Go look it up on YouTube. I've told the Ming story before. Or the one that I witnessed. I've told that. Ray, that James Brown 4th episode is out of Say It Loud. You know what? I've been meaning to watch that, man. I haven't had a chance to. I'm glad you reminded me, man, because I got to go back and pull that up. I really do. I really do. That's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting. I'm really, I really want to see that. I really do. I remember the Ming story. The guy was shitting on himself. I haven't heard all the Ming stories, so I was just got asked about one on my old podcast, and I told the story. It's a true story. It was a true story, bro. Golly. Uh, but shit, what can you do, man? What can you do? You know, Ming was crazy, man, especially when he starts drinking, man. He's the coolest guy in the world, brother. But if he starts drinking, man, he's another guy. He's another guy. You know, he's another guy. But, you know, what can you say? Some people are like that, man. When they get alcohol in them, they're totally different people. Totally different. And Ming was one of those guys, man. And he was a good guy. Me and Ming, Barb, we all, you know, in that same world, you know, we was out there working, but man. So I've never been real. I don't drink per se. If I went out, I might have a beer or something like that. But you know, a lot of guys like to, you know, they get off on drinking. I've never been one of those people, man. They just, once they get through with work, it's time to drink and boom, boom, boom. And oh man, we got shit faced, man. That ain't, I mean, whatever the fuck ever. I'm never going to be that. You'll never see me drunk amongst a lot of my peers. You'll never see that. You ain't going to see me drunk, period. But I'm just saying, a lot of guys in the business, hey, man, when the matches are over, you know, they let loose, you know, and they start knocking them down with the other guys and stuff like that. And that's great. But it's just not me. It's never been me. I've never been one of those guys that I need drugs, alcohol, whatever, pills to be happy. I wake up happy every day because my mother made us go to church all the time. So even though I don't go to church now, but I came up in the church, so I've always looked at life as a blessing. Now, I'm not telling anybody else what to do. Don't get me wrong. I've drank a little here and there, but I've never been just shit-faced. Never. You know, I might have been out with my buddies when I was a young man and might have a couple of drinks, this, that, and the other. But I've always liked to know my surroundings. Always. I'm just that kind of person. But I used to hear, but, you know, even back with my friends and stuff like that, different people I know. Hey, man, we was out last night, man. We was so fucked up. He didn't know where he was. Ha, ha, ha. You know, he. Motherfucker, I want to know where the fuck I am at all times. And I don't need some police officer pulling me over and throwing my ass in the goddamn shit tank. You know what I'm saying? Because he smelled some alcohol on me, bro. I don't need that. I don't need that hassle. But that's just the business, though. That's just the wrestling business. It's such a tough business. You know, guys need to unwind. They need to unwind. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the fact that it's just, I came up working in clubs. You guys all know that. So I just look at life totally different. I'm always the guy on the other side of the rope. I'm always that guy. I'm always the guy. If I'm out with the guys, I'm looking out for them more than trying to be like them. Yes. Because I'm like, when you're out in clubs and you're doing stuff, that's when shit starts, brother. I've seen it. I grew up watching these things. And believe me, I had my share of them because I work in clubs. I had to diffuse so much of this stuff. But I was into a lot of it myself. Yeah, you know, because I took my job serious.
So if anybody got out of line, yes, I'm going to try to break your neck. Yes, I'm trying to put your ass in the hospital. Yes, I want a helicopter picking your ass up because this is how I get my money, brother. That's just my mentality, bro. I got to get this paper, and I'm not about to let anybody mess with it, bro. That's just the way we were like that back in the day. And me and my boy, one of my partners in crime, Johnny Nash, who's a good friend of mine. That's what we did. And he will tell you, he went on to become a police officer, a sheriff. And I was almost about to become a police officer myself. But I never did because, the security business picked up, started our own company, so on and so forth, and the rest is history. But the Omega just said, them pills like some messed a lot of them wrestlers up back in the day, mixed with alcohol. And yeah, I can see a lot of craziness going on back then. Sad how dependent that, Alpha, that's just the nature of the business, man. People don't realize how hard mentally taxing the professional wrestling business is, especially back in those days. Maybe not so much now because they don't travel as much. Godson, why you limit comments on Facebook? I don't limit no comments on Facebook. What are you talking about? You can, if it's limited, it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's just limited. I'm on Facebook right now. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm on Twitch right now. So you got 3 different outlets. You don't get a comment on one, go to one of the other ones. What about that? How hard is that? That's not hard. But no, I don't limit anything. But if it is limited, it's got nothing to do with me. And just the way it is, I don't know. Hold on a second. But I do have, it is on Facebook. Like I said, I'm looking at a lot of my stuff right now. YouTube. Yeah, I think YouTube is the best idea. Twitch is good also. Facebook got their own rules. And I don't have anything to do with it. But what I'm trying to do is also, we're going to download the Instagram also. So what I want to do probably is go to Instagram and stop using Facebook. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not 100% sure right now, but that's what I keep trying to remind myself to do. Reyes just said, that's why when I work, I never hang out with other co-workers. They always party hardy into the same foolishness. I'm laid back and I go straight home to my wife. Hey, brother, I commend you for that. I really do. That's how you should be. That's how you should be. But hey, man, everybody, hey, man, like I said, I'm not telling nobody what not to do. But I just like to be in control of my own faculties. That's all. I've never been the guy that runs with the crowd, man. I've never been that guy. Whatever the crowd doing, I'm trying to find out something else to do. Not saying that I'm antisocial or anything like that. I just, you know what I'm saying? Never been the guy. Never been the guy that just want to hang around, to go along to get along. Never been that guy. Because you follow people, you're a follower for life. Because that's all you know. Kissing ass and wanting to fit in. I ain't never been that guy. Never been in. Whatever the crowd is saying, that's what you go with. You know. Alpha said, I know Stevie is crazy how the day of the year away from your family, I can see turning to substance. Well, Alpha, that's what I was saying. People don't realize the stress and why people turn to some of the substances that they do. Because when you sign up for this business, you don't really know how taxing it is on your mental outlook. You just don't know. And people, unless you've experienced it, that is why it's one of my pet peeves when people try to talk about the wrestling business as if they know what it's about. Unless you did it for a living, I mean a living, not a part-time job, not a weekend furlough. I said a living. You know what I'm talking about, just like the job you got. Whatever job you got, I wouldn't know what the fuck goes on that job if I wasn't on that job with you on a daily basis. I wouldn't know. I can go by what you tell me or what I see from the outside looking in. But when you get up in the morning and get dressed, eat breakfast, jump in your ride, go down to the job, clock in, whatever you did and what you did for 8 hours, unless I've done it just like that, I don't know. And we can be the best of friends. And we can talk to each other every day or every other day. I don't think I want to talk to no friend every day. But every other day. A few times a week. Hey, dog, what's up? The last thing you're going to want to talk about is your job. It's the last thing. Now, something went down on the job. Oh, man, this happened the other day on the job, man. Yeah, man, what happened, man? Oh, man, this is one dude I work with, or this one chick I work with, or this one boss I work with, and this happened, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe you just want to get that shit off your chest, but you still ain't really told me exactly what goes on your job. You just told me an incident that happened on the job. Totally different. See what I'm saying? Makes for great stories down the line, but a big price to pay in the end for some. Yeah, Alpha, I got to agree with you on that. And, you know, a lot of people that's, you know, go through those kind of trials and tribulations, they got better memories than me, man. I'm the kind of guy that I can retain things that I'm interested in. And people always ask me, man, how do you know that? And I'll go, man, I don't even know, man. It's just in my head. But when it comes to my career, brother, it's like half of it, I got amnesia. That's why I need Sonny and different people that I'm talking to remind me of things. And then things will come back. It's like having amnesia. In some of those movies, I don't never met nobody with real amnesia. But you see the amnesia in the movies, and is he remembering something? A dog walks by. Something's jogging in my head. That dog was reminding me or something. That's how I am, brother. It's like I've been hit on the head. Then again, it might be post-traumatic syndrome. I think so many things went down. I'm like a Vietnam veteran, not trying to disrespect Vietnam veterans, because anybody that knows me knows I will never disrespect anybody from that did their thing in the military. You know, God bless them. But what I'm saying is, it's like post-traumatic syndrome. I think some of the things in the wrestling business, psychosomatically, I've wanted to forget. I remember me and Conan having this conversation one day, and I was telling him, brother, I thought I was the only person that felt like that. So I honestly believe there are some things
in the wrestling business that mentally, psychologically, I wanted to forget. And I think that's why when Sonny and I are having conversations, and Sonny will go, hey, man, you remember that time when this happened or that happened and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't remember. But a lot of times on the show, hopefully he's not listening right now. A lot of times on the show, I just go with it like I do. Because I'm hoping slowly but surely as he talks, little by little, it starts to come back. And a lot of times it does. And man, it's funny, man. This is so funny, man. This is crazy. But any of you guys that want to call into the show, the call-in number is, I'm going to have to put the call-in number behind me for you guys to see it. But I got my picture behind me, and I'd rather look at old big Ray Dog than a phone number, okay? I just rather do that. 832-243-4428. I'll say it again. 832-243-4428. Now, who was that asking me about, Facebook stuff? I don't know. Now, I got Facebook in on the system, but I'm also looking at it on my phone right now also. But it's hard for me to look at both. Kush, you laughing, man, but I'm telling you the truth, man. I'm telling you the God honest truth, man. Yeah, that was God's son. I don't know what the deal is on that, man, because I'm not looking at my Facebook page on the computer. I'm looking at it on my phone. And on my phone, it's got certain people chime in, but it's actually not moving anymore. So I don't know what the deal is on it. It might be messing up. I'm not sure. Because it's got AJ Mills the third. And he's the last person I see on the scroll. So I'll say it again. I'll give you the number again. 832-243-4428. And like I said, guys, don't forget, I'm going to be, I think I'm in Facebook jail. For what? I've been in Facebook jail a lot of times for talking bad about people. And they put me in jail many times, as if I really give a shit. I don't live on social media anyway. But I'm going to tell you what I use Facebook for, man. We all know about all the algorithms. Just like what we're talking about now. Or if you're talking on, me and my buddy a couple of weeks ago, we were talking on the phone, and I got my television on YouTube, and the things he and I are talking about starts popping up on my YouTube. So we all know about the algorithms. So when I go on Facebook, anything I've been talking about, if I'm interested in anything, when I'm scrolling Facebook, these little commercials come up. And a lot of it's got something to do with what I've been talking about. And I see if any of them, can help me out in some way, shape, or form, or this, that, and the other. Because I'm going to tell you something. The company that I found out that could make me custom-made Pittsburgh Steelers shoes, I found that on Facebook. AJ said that's the government. Oh, yeah, it is. Different other little trinkets I've bought, I found them on Facebook. So I use Facebook more for that than out there talking shit about different people and different stuff. Because like I say, I'm not a gossip guy. Wait, they should have you be the grand marshal at the Daytona 500. No disrespect to The Rock. Hey, man, I appreciate that. But I'm going to tell you, man, I don't want to be at the Daytona 500 Well, you all guys know. I know my racing, man. I know cars. You know what I'm saying? I know what's going on with race cars. And that's why whenever I went around the NASCAR guys, they used to love to have me around. They used to love to have me around because I could talk with them about what's going on in racing. And I could ask questions where I didn't sound like a total nincompoop, ninny, numbskull, anything on the end. That wasn't me. They was like, wow, man, you know more about racing than the guys that work on the team. Of course I do. What you talking about, man? Of course I do, real Cole. Cause you know. Of course I do. And if I wasn't back then 6'5", 290 some odd pounds, I could get in that race car. I actually believe this. I could get in that race car and be competitive. And be competitive. Yes, I actually believe that. But it was just a joy being around those guys, man. A joy being around them and talking racing, talking history. I remember Richard Petty coming up to me and my brother was like, hey, man, I know you guys say y'all from Harlem, but y'all must be from Harlem, Tennessee. I mean, Richard Petty told me and my brother. The king. And I was like, wow, man. I was like, is the Texas accent that bad? And he was like, yeah, man, I can hear it. Oh, my goodness, man. We almost pulled it off. We almost pulled it off, Kush. Edify souls. That's what Kush just says to do a racing podcast. No, I just rather have the racing guys come on this show. And we just talk. I've done a couple of racing podcasts, though. I've done a couple. And they were really impressed. But that's my thing, man. I've been in the race since I was a little bitty boy, man. I'm going to tell you all the things I was into when I was a little bitty boy. Wrestling. Racing with race cars was first, though. Racing, boxing, football, wrestling, baseball. Those were the two things, those were the 4 or 5 things that I loved when I was a kid. And I was really into baseball up until the 90s, and they had to strike, and then they come back, and the guys hitting the home runs, this, that, and the other. Take them out of the gutter, put them back in primetime television where everybody making money, everybody making their bag, and then they crucify Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa, Mark McGrath, and all that. I never really watched baseball again. I really could care less about it. That was wrong. In my opinion, that was wrong. So, but everything else, man, that's why I'm a big boxing fan. I'm a big MMA fan nowadays. But racing is still, racing and football is my first love. 1A and 1B, my first love to this day. I go to my grave, man. This is when my season starts after football season. Auto racing. Yeah. Hey, as a kid, I was one of those sad, this is Kron talking, sad sacks that believed y'all until y'all kept talking about neck bones. I'm going to tell you something, Kron. The white wrestlers used to always come to me and my brother and get, you know what they would say? Hey, man, what is neck bones? I swear to God, I don't know how many people would come up and ask me and my brother that. And it was like, man, I feel like I'm on an episode of the Beverly Hillbillies. You know? Like when Jed would invite Mr. Drysdale over to eat. And he said, yeah, come on, we're going to have some cornbread and fatback. And Mr. Hathaway, was that it? Hathaway? Oh, that was the lady's name. His secretary, one of them. And he asked, Miss Hathaway, he would ask her, what is fatback? And she say, Chief. No, Mr. Drysdale, that was his name, Mr. Drysdale. Chief, meat. And then he go, oh, yeah.
We'll be over, miss. You know, oh my God. That's what that reminded me of. I was like, I was actually, Kron, this is no lie. I was actually under the impression that everybody knew what neck bones were. I swear to God. Nobody from New York would be saying, it's going to be on like a steaming pot of neck bones. Nobody would be saying that. We didn't put to it. We just liked how it sounded. Yeah, real cool. I seen Ryan Garcia on there talking shit. I believe Devin Haney going to get knee deep in his ass. As a matter of fact, Ryan Garcia's biggest fan is Tony Petragon. Let's get him on the show since they got a fight coming on. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to text him. Oh, well, it's an hour into the show right now, so I have to text him another night. But we're going to get him on because he is Ryan Garcia's biggest fan. And I told him, y'all don't remember when I had him on the show? Him and his brother. And I told him when he went up against Tank, I was telling him they found out the hard way. And then they made 50,000, not Tony, but Cruz, made 50,000 excuses. Oh, his trainer didn't train him right. Oh, did you see how he was holding his hands? He wasn't mentally there. Oh, okay. Yeah, especially after he got hit in his stomach with that good old home cooking. The neck bone reference was a dead giveaway. Yeah, real cool. You're right about that. But nobody got it. Nobody got it but you, real cool. Nobody got it. Everybody else didn't get it. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Ryan say, shout out to Big Mama. Oh, man. It's going to be on like it's still. I still remember that, man. God damn. You know, as a kid, I ate neck bones all the time. Yeah, real cool. He talking trash shit. He talking about Ryan Garcia, but hey, man, he's good at it. He's good at it. I can't wait to see the fight, though. I can't wait to see that fight. And I also can't wait to see Keith Thurman against Toscazoo. That should be a good one, too. I'm glad they're starting the year out with some of these guys out here giving us some good fights with good competition, win or lose, brother. That's what we need in boxing. We need top guys fighting each other, win or lose. Because just because you lost a fight doesn't mean you're any less of a fighter. You just got beat by somebody that, I don't know, the strategy could be bad. So many different facets go into a boxing match. That's why you see guys lose the first match and come back in a rematch and win the thing. It's all about adjustments, man. It's all about adjustments. All about adjustments. As long as you said sucker your promos, I believe them. Well, you know where the sucker come from? The sucker comes from the old black exploitation movies. That's where the sucker came from. Everybody knows movies call somebody a sucker. What you talking about, sucker? You know what I'm saying? So we went out of our way. We don't talk like that, you know, on a day-to-day basis, but we was trying to find ways and certain things and certain phrases to say to set us apart from everybody else before that had came before us. So that's why we said some of the things that we did, because those were our catchphrases that we knew other people were not privy to. So it was calculated. It really was. It was very calculated. So, and you know, it got to the point where my friends would ask me, my friends on a daily basis sometimes, especially if I'm out and I see guys out in the club or something like that, and I'm out having a good time, having a couple of drinks, beers. One beer lasts me 30 minutes.
Whereas most guys I used to work with get a beer. Hey, give me 6 beers and take one. Whoop. I'm like, golly, man. I mean, that didn't take long, but I'm just saying, not to get off topic. And my friends would ask me, hey, man, talk like you do on television. Talk like I do on television? Well, I'm not working. Remember I told you guys, I never brought my job home with me. I never brought Stevie Ray home with me. He stayed in a suitcase. Never brought him out. So when my friends would ask me to talk like I do on television, I couldn't do it. I could not do it because I'm not in that frame of mind. So it's hard. People don't, I didn't even realize I couldn't do it because I actually tried and they thought I was bullshitting with them. I just told them, man, I can't do it, bro. I'm laughing about it, but I tried. But the thing is, that is when I started understanding method actors, how method actors don't want to come out of a character when they're playing a character, especially a very important character, like somebody from in history or something like that, and they stay in those characters. That is when I started understanding what method acting was. And I could not turn back into Stevie Ray until I went back on the road. Until I went back on the road. I didn't want to hear nothing about wrestling. I didn't want to talk about wrestling. My friends knew not to bring up shit around me. Like, hey, man, I saw you the other night. Y'all was wrestling so-and-so. They knew it would perturb me. They knew it. And they would tell other people that didn't know me that might come around and go, hey, man, don't ask him anything about wrestling. Because I'm not hanging around with my buddies to talk about what I do for a living. I'm hanging around my buddies to talk about what we talk about. We're not going to make our social gathering about me and what I do. We're not going to do that. That's not fair to them. So I'm the same guy. And I've been the same guy. And I'm going to stay the same guy. I like that guy. And I did not realize I couldn't turn into Stevie Ray unless some money was on the line. I was out doing an appearance or something like that. And yeah, couldn't do it. It's hard for me to do it right now. It's hard for me to do it. But that's how the old mop flops, man. Sometimes that's just the way it is.
Power on.
Every time I'll be watching y'all on TV, my dad will walk by and say, and Stevie Ray is a real man. I appreciate that, real cool. Real cool. Black exploitation film. Yeah, man, we tried to bring a lot of that stuff back, man. We tried to bring a lot of those phrases because we knew a certain part of the audience was listening and it would bring something back for them. You know what I'm saying? Like their childhood or something like that, like our childhood. So we did that consciously and we did it on purpose, and by the fact that we wouldn't, manufacture it like a lot of people are, it was good for us to have the creativity. The office gave us the right to have the creativity over what we was doing, and we just made it work. We just made it work, But that's what I remember about all that, man. Which was cool time. Very cool time. As long as y'all said suck in your promo, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, Richard Petty knocked us out, man. Knocked us out. And then I'm at the Brickyard 400 in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for NASCAR. And me and a buddy of mine, Lee Beard, had got all access passes. So we could go all over everything. We could go to guys' dressing room. I mean, not dressing room, but their garages and stuff like that.
everything. So many of the guys were friends of mine from back in the NASCAR days. And this was like in 2000 and, I don't know, late 2000s, something like that. And I'm walking through the pit garages and stuff like that. Guess who I see? Richard Petty. And I'm sitting there talking to a few people, shaking hands, this, that, and the other. And Richard walks up, say, "Hey, Stevie." And I go, "Hey, King, what's up?" "Hey, man, you remember that time we was at Daytona and I told you and your brother was from Harlem, Tennessee?" I'm like, and he do this in front of everybody that I'm sitting there. Oh, my God, man. I was like, I can't believe this dude even remembered that. I'm like, "Yeah, King, thanks for narking me out, man. Thanks for busting me right in front of all these people as I'm feeling like a big shot right now." And he just busted everything, man. Then my boy started laughing, like, "What is he talking about, man?" I was like, "Oh, brother, I'll tell you about it later, bro." But yeah, those are some of the things I can talk about. You want to talk about stories? I don't think I've ever told those two stories before. Yeah, the Daytona, we were at Daytona 1996. And I think I was at the Brickyard 2007, 2008, something like that. This was years later. He still remembered it. But you got to realize so many NASCAR fans are pro wrestling fans also. It's like they're the same. So, you know, especially WCW because it originated in the South. And we were on TNT and TBS. You know, back in the day, a lot of those NASCAR races was on those same stations. So kind of same thing. I didn't really think about that back at the time, but, you know, it was what it was. But anyway, guys, we got to get ready to get up out of here. And anybody that's out there watching on Facebook, man, I got to get out of here. See you guys later. Peace. But it's a pleasure talking to everybody tonight. Keep the questions coming, man. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, man, stay tuned. Stay tuned for the new podcast I was telling you guys about, man. Stay tuned because it's going to be coming. It's going to be coming. Kush, I'm going to check that James Brown out, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But like I said, maybe Sonny Ono will be back next week. But y'all know something? We don't even miss him. We don't even miss him. That's getting me thinking, man. Maybe we should bring Sonny on once a month. I'm going to leave that for y'all. What y'all want me to do? Once a month? Twice a month? I think we should break it down to, that's right, Cross. Cross says, Sonny who? Oh, God, man, you guys kill me, man. I wanted to get into the Cam Newton squabble, but in essence, I thought better of it, man. We'll catch it some other time. I don't want to do the gossip because I don't have all the info on it yet. But we shall talk about it. Might talk about it on Black and White in a couple of days. But, you know, it is what it is. Since Sonny's not here, hope he's having a good time down there in Mexico with his son. Hope his son hasn't threw him in the water and drowned him. And let's hope Sonny comes back with a clean nose and clean health. This is Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. Holla at your boy. If you don't do nothing else, be one. Peace.